Google has lied to me! Before I get into that, thanks to Mint Mobile for sponsoring a segment of this video. Okay, so when Google was presenting the new Pixel 7s at the Made by Google event, they made a passing statement about the new and improved action stabilization on the phones. Stupid old me decided that that's a new feature here to rival the action mode of the iPhone 14. Eek! Wrong! Google has had an active mode for its video for a while now. You just go into the video and tap the stabilization icon. Okay, if that's the case, why am I disappointed? Well, see, when you go into this mode, the phone switches exclusively to the ultra-wide angle lens. Then it crops into the ultra-wide image, and as you move around, it uses that information from the side of the sensor to achieve stabilization by keeping the subject in the center. Kinda. You can already guess where the problem is. An ultra-wide camera already has soft details and not so great dynamics, so cropping into that degrades the video even further. On the flip side, Apple's new action mode is some kind of dark magic. Yes, when you turn it on, the iPhone 14 will default to the ultra-wide-angle camera because it assumes you want to take action videos with a wide lens. It makes sense because it's easier to keep a lot of stuff into the shot as you're moving around. But make no mistake, you are free to pick any camera you want to use. So if you're on an iPhone 14 Pro, you can choose the ultra-wide, wide and telephoto zoom camera. And each one of them gets kind of amazing levels of stabilization. And finally, a Pixel 7 with active mode on will record in 1080p maximum, that's it. The iPhone 14 will also drop resolution in action mode, but down to 2.8K, that's 2816 by 1584, which is still a very sharp video compared to 1080p. Now that I've cleared all of this up, let's cap this off with some samples. In this first sample, I'm just walking. This is the iPhone 14 and action mode is off, just to get a general feeling of how the normal stabilization performs. You can see a bit of bobbing, a bit of jiggling, but it generally looks like a stable clip. The Pixel 7 with normal stabilization is still a bit more shaky than this. Let's turn the active stabilization on both phones. On the iPhone 14 clip you can still see that bobbing up, down, but at least it's much smoother than the same clip with action mode off. It's still sharp and detailed and the footage looks good. The Pixel 7 clip kind of almost removes the bobbing and shaking, which is quite impressive. However, we can see a drop in sharpness and details, and we can even make out some artifacting going on. So we are already seeing some sacrifices being made here. Okay, I'm gonna start pushing the cameras more now, but first let me tell you about Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile gives you access to the US largest 5G network, but cuts prices by cutting out the middleman. There are no stores to go to, no lines to wait at. Mint Mobile specializes in online service, meaning you can sign up and activate your account right from the comfort of your own home. Yes, entirely. Mint Mobile supports eSIM, which Apple kind of forces us to use now, so you can activate your service by just ordering it online. No need to wait for a physical package, but if that's your choice, you can order an actual physical SIM card. Delivery is free. You can keep using your current mobile phone with Mint as long as it's GSM compatible, and you can keep your number. Just click and you're on a new service with full access to 5G as before, but only paying a fraction of the cost. You get unlimited talk, text and lightning fast 5G data, and you can use your phone as a hotspot without having to pay extra for the feature. You can track how much data you're using in your Mint account, and the carrier will recommend the right plans for you so you don't end up wasting too much money. It is a prepaid service, so you're free to switch plans month to month. Thanks to Mint Mobile, on to the next clips! In this next clip, I'm running like a madman, holding the phones closer to the ground, trying to capture that sense of speed or something, I don't know, just look at the samples. You will notice that the iPhone footage is more zoomed in. This is because I'm using the 1x normal camera, whereas the Pixel 7, as mentioned above, uses a crop-in of its ultra-wide camera, so it's kinda hard to match them up. In any case, we can see pretty good stabilization performance from both cameras here. Again, very smooth with minor bobbing on both phones, but again, you can see the sacrifices that the Pixel makes. The iPhone clip looks sharp, there's a great dynamic range and the skies don't look burnt out. The Pixel 7 clip is smooth, yes, but a bit overexposed, and again, details are soft. Moving further, here's me running down a street. To be honest, both phones kind of failed here. There is a limit of how far you can go with stabilizing super shaky footage. Looking at the iPhone clip, as I am jogging down, each heavy step causes a lot of shake. So the phone tries to compensate for that, but you can see very obvious jitters blurring the whole image for fractions of the second, basically ruining the clip if you're looking for something pristine. The Pixel 7 clip kind of does the same, but since it is already not as sharp and somewhat blurry looking, the effect is much less pronounced. And lastly, I got on a skateboard and recorded a couple of clips. Let's take a look at some samples without stabilization and with stabilization. Again, in normal mode, both phones actually do pretty well. They still do employ some sort of stabilization, it's just not tuned for extreme shakes. When engaging action mode, we can still spot the difference of iPhone having a bit sharper footage. But I also noticed that when I'm waving the phones around, trying to capture different things while I'm moving, the iPhone video pans around a bit slower and a bit more smoothly. That aside, both devices seem to capture very smooth, well-stabilized action video. Well, that does it for this quick test. What did you think? Do you even need or care for action mode on a phone? Let us know down below, and like the video if you're happy that I didn't wipe out on my skateboard while taking video with two phones. Subscribe for more stunts like this, maybe once a year or something. And I'll see you next time. Bye!